I I don't know when you wanted me to start. You didn't give me a time frame. So we're just gonna start without even previewing which podcast this is. So if you're listening, hey, it's gonna be a Jack in the
Welcome.
Box. You don't know. Welcome to this podcast. We will not name until this question is over because Zach wasn't clear. Blame him. Send all regards to Hannah Bruner at Elkmount School District. Beside the point.
Attaboy.
Guys, what is your go-to movie you have to watch on Christmas? Obviously, two of us weren't at a TV. We're at the game instead. But what's your go-to Christmas movie? You don't have one?
I didn't watch a single movie this
Okay,
Christmas
but if
season.
you had to, then
It's
you little Grinch.
So I don't watch movies on Christmas. I'm with like Zach, but I do watch them before, and the best one is Office Christmas Party.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even heard of it. I don't think.
Yeah, it's so good.
I will second Office Christmas Party.
Oh, he's getting rejected. He's going for the pound. And Trevor
shit!
denied him.
My bad.
Another way.
God, it's been too long.
Nope.
Well, you know
Visual
what?
jokes for the audio listeners of
It was just
Lombardi
lag.
Suite.
It was just lag. It happened. It was just lag. I thought you were elbowing me, man. Don't. Anyways, Janet.
So I like gory kind of. Yeah, I love gory. So I like watching the Gremlins. Like that is my go-to. That is my Christmas movie. I think it's funny, and I like watching them die. It's fun in a festive
Dark.
Christmas way.
Of course.
All right. Let's not dive too deep into that psychologically. Zach.
I guess if I had to choose one, it'd be Christmas Vacation. I guess. I don't know. I don't like Christmas movies or Christmas music or most Christmas things. It's just not
Well,
a
that
fun.
really set the stage for this episode of Lombardi Sweep. There it is. There it is. In case you were wondering, hey, what podcast am I listening to? Zach, take it away. I think everybody hates me now, but beside the point.
No, you're good. Just Luke, because turned him down in a very visual joke that people on youtube.com/Flurry Sports clearly saw. But other people will have to just listen to this after the fact and check it out later. Let's talk about that Christmas Day game. Obviously, the Packers played on Christmas. Luke and Janet were there separately, did not meet each other. Like ships passing in the night, they wouldn't have even known that the other was there. From your guys' perspective, I mean, Janet, you go to the Christmas season game every year, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
And obviously, Luke, you go to a bunch of games. Was this game? Did it feel different because it was on Christmas Day, or not really?
I don't know about you, Janet, but this game felt very loud to me. It was the loudest game I've been to all year. I don't know. Yeah, like I think because of Christmas, like a lot of younger kids are getting tickets to this game. Like kids, maybe in college, whatever. So I think a lot of those people go. Everyone gets all rowdy. I think the team does get behind that a little bit, and yeah, I do think Christmas adds something special.
Yeah, I feel it too. I feel like people also go all out with their whatever they're wearing because they can add like that little Christmas spirit to it. They add like tinsel, that shiny metallic tinsel, and so I think it does add a little bit more to it. And people also tell each other Merry Christmas. But usually, like I go to the Christmas game, yeah, they tell each other like Merry Christmas.
Add to it.
Yeah. So usually I do go to the Christmas games, and I do feel like they're different when they're not a Christmas game because I've been to a few that are not. But yeah, I think it adds a little bit more to it. It's more festive.
Sounds like it. If people are saying Merry Christmas, it's pretty loud. I mean, the Packers pulled out a victory, I guess. I'm not sure how much there is to feel good about the game. Was the crowd overall positive and full of Christmas cheer? Were there any carols? Were there any carols being sung throughout the stadium, or was it a lot of screaming and swearing, like in the Bruner household from me?
It felt like to me that this game was never really out of reach. So everyone's just, everyone got excited early, still pumped up through the game, like, oh, this is easy win. And then it kind of builds up a little bit. And by the fourth quarter, they're within one score. So it went from very happy to very content for a long time, then to, okay, we need to be on the edge of our seats here.
I have so many pictures with people I don't know. Like like random people would just be like, let's take a picture. And I'd be like,
But not
okay.
your own podcast friends. Interesting.
No.
Mm.
So, yeah, no, it was really fun for the most part of what I remember.
Gotcha. Okay, we can talk about the game. I don't really have much to say about it. I mean, I wrote down a couple notes. I rewatched it, but it was pretty straightforward. I thought the special teams played really good, and you can tell because nobody's talking about it. But I'll give credit to them. Kickoff team played really damn good. Congratulations to you. We'll get into why I'm worried about that for this week in a little bit. But for right now, kickoff team played well. Special teams as a whole played well. A lot of touchbacks, at least from the returning team, from our return team, which is good to see. Just because shit's not going crazy. Obviously, the main takeaway from the game, from the sports media point of view and sports talk point of view, the only thing really being talked about is that the 4 interceptions from Baker Mayfield. Obviously, the last one being controversial because Rasul Douglas wasn't called for a pass interference. But to be fair, there wasn't a pass interference called on one of the previous interceptions either. So they were at least consistent with them favoring the Packers this game, as has been the case the entire season, but that's okay. Baker Mayfield did give the Packers a Christmas gift there, I suppose. If he didn't do that, if Stefanski just kept running the ball, which, he probably should have since he had 3 timeouts and they were getting at least 5 yards per carry every single time, Packers would have been in a much worse situation. Missed tackles continue to be the main takeaway from this defense and team overall. Nick Chubb, 17 carries, 126 yards, 3 catches, 58 yards. Johnson for them, 4 carries, 58 yards. I mean, it's pretty pathetic. They were getting the edge all game, even up the middle. It was just missed tackles left and right. It's not even really a scheme thing. It's just a player thing. Joe Barry wasn't helping them out because they weren't even stacking the line of scrimmage either. They were just playing one single file line at the line of scrimmage. So if you break that first wall, it's off to the races. And that was shown by the tackles. Who led the tackles? Devondre Campbell led with 13, but Savage had 8 tackles. Amos had 5 tackles. Douglas had 5 tackles. A lot of tackles deep in the secondary. Thank God they could tackle somebody because nobody up front could. And to be completely honest, Devondre Campbell's been pretty ass the past few weeks as well. He looks tired, and I don't blame him. But he needs help because he's also breaking up a little bit. Luke, Janet, Trevor, what are your other takeaways from this game other than what I just said or adding on to what I just said?
I was just going to add on to that run defense. I think if the Browns give Nick Chubb maybe 6, 7 more carries, they win that game.
Easy.
And I think that if the Browns had the 29th or better quarterback in the NFL, they win that game. The defense as a whole it seemed played bad. I know Baker Mayfield gave them plays to make, but they were also that touchdown. Rasul Douglas got burned over the middle, I believe. But I don't think the defense played all that great. They took what Baker Mayfield gave them, and Baker Mayfield just not good enough to make other good plays like that. So yeah, I agree with you. I agree the play calling for Brown should have been better with Chubb carries, but those were, I guess, yeah.
I think the worst thing for me was that touchdown to pull it within 2, I believe. The Packers weren't set on defense. There was one defensive back on 2 wide receivers. That's not, I think it was Sullivan gave it up in air quotes. If it wasn't whoever that wasn't his fault, right? I think there obviously should have been a timeout called, but the biggest thing for me is I don't think Joe Barry, not, I don't think, what is Joe Barry doing, right? Every time it was like clockwork. Get it to 3rd and manageable. The Packers will play at the sticks, the cornerbacks. They'll go back 2 yards. They'll do a quick slant over the middle or inside for 8 when they need 7, first down. If you're going to have the safeties deep, then press. And if you're going to have the cornerbacks in blitz, or back blitz, do something. Don't just sit there. I mean, it's like a guy playing Madden waiting for somebody to make a mistake. I mean, it's the worst bend don't break defense ever. There's no changes. There's no schemes, no hidden blitzes, no blitzes at all. It's just bad. And we're going to play a quarterback who's going to dice it up consistently and are going to give up 40 in the playoffs again. It's going to happen.
Yeah, just to repeat what I had said last show, that Baker hasn't been playing very well, so he basically handed the game to us, and that's fine. That's fine. I guess like they said, we won ugly, but at the end of the day, we play the Vikings next, and I want them to win, but I don't think it's I don't think it's gonna happen. The last time I was wrong. So, and yeah, I think it was mostly offense doing all the work in this game for sure. Because I think defense, they were just kind of, it's Baker Mayfield, he didn't do shit. So, for the most part of what I remember, we had the ball the majority of the time, from what I remember. So, yeah. I think Baker Mayfield's hoopla or his hype is over.
Yeah, Baker certainly bailed out the defense quite a bit. But yeah, talking about that broken play down in the red zone, to your point, I'm not sure if it was Sullivan or if it was Douglas, but the outside receiver was covering two guys, took a chance, got burnt. What are you going to do? It's just one of those things. It's now becoming a pattern that clearly the message isn't getting in red zone defense, goal line defense, because obviously we talked about 2 weeks ago, there's 10 guys on the field. That's the time you need to be sharpest, clearly, obviously. And red zone defense hasn't been good the entire season. We remember through the first, 5-6 weeks, the Packers gave up a touchdown every single time somebody went to the red zone. And then we played Washington or whatever, and Washington screwed it up. And they ran it, they turned it over, they did all that. And everyone's like, the red zone defense is fixed because we stopped Taylor Heineke. Congratulations. When he slid instead of running it in wide open. Red zone defense is horrendous. If there's things on defense that you need to look at for good teams, it's yards per carry allowed, third down conversion, red zone defense. And the Packers really suck at all of them. So, I don't know what to say. The defense is really bad. The players are bad. The coaching is bad. Jerry Alexander activated. Hey, maybe he plays. Doubt he plays this week. I can't imagine he would play this week, even though he's active, which, yes, that means he's taking an active game day spot. What-de-do. This is fake. This is good, fun stuff. One thing not being talked about, Packers now 2-6 on challenges this season. Matt LaFleur wasn't even close on the 2 challenges in this game. Usually there's somebody in the box, who gets to see the film telling him, hey, to challenge. The second one, there certainly wasn't. He just did it. There's reasons to challenge calls when you're going to call a timeout no matter what. So I would have to review the other 2 that he failed. But this game was terrible, and it's inexcusable to call a challenge on, I believe, the first drive of the second half on a 1st and 10. And after failing the challenge and losing the timeout, we got a first down, the play immediately after. So it was just pointless. And it's why is Matt LaFleur not getting credit as the greatest coach in the league? This is why. Because he's not good. I don't know. He's fine. He's a good PR guy on the mic, and that's all we really need. But let's take away his challenge flags. Let's hide him. Let's make him try to find them before he has to throw them or something.
Let's give him a jitterbug phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever radioed down to challenge the first one on the Browns reception, he should be fired immediately. There was no angle, even in real time. You're like, what are you doing? Like, there was no angle. Like, if you really think that, you should not at all be in charge. Maybe of like a team like the Falcons, right? Where it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Or the Jaguars or the Jets. Not the Packers, who might be in the Super Bowl, right?
Hey,
The
Luke,
second
did you hear the
one,
crowd though? Did you hear the crowd? The crowd was saying to challenge it.
Yeah.
the first one,
It was so weird.
All the owners were wrong?
Crazy.
Wild. It's crazy.
The second one looked like a catch to me, though. Did I just have bad angles on the TV?
I think it might have been a catch, but there's no way they were going to reverse that.
Okay.
And it wasn't a significant play either. So I don't know why they would do it. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, it might have been. Other thing I have written down, after the half, the Packers had that drive for a field goal. The rest of the second half, they have 1 first down. Like, it's not even like taking your foot off the gas. Like, they just don't do anything. And they just let teams hang around. There was one drive where Aaron Jones ran the ball 3 times and we punted it. Like, what are we doing? It's inexcusable. It's terrible play calling.
And that was
something even Aaron Rodgers should audible out of. It's just bad.
That was like 5 minutes left too, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing that drove me nuts. Like, we talked a couple weeks back when I said against the Ravens, you should run it to ice it. And you said, well, you have Aaron Rodgers. Like, running it 3 times with 2 minutes left makes sense. Running it 3 times with 5 minutes left and Aaron Rodgers just straight up asinine.
Yeah. And we would have had a first down on, I guess, technically the second to the last drive. The last drive before we knelt it, when Devontae dropped that one. That was uncharacteristic. It was a tough catch, but still. But I mean, it doesn't change the point that the Packers continue to take their foot off the gas. They're just not a good enough team to do that. And we saw it last year against Tampa Bay. There was a lot of mistakes, but that was definitely one of them. And especially looking at the teams they're going to have to face, either Tampa, Dallas, the Rams, maybe even the Cardinals, probably not them. But like, these are teams that have really good weapons, and you can't let teams like that hang around, because the Packers defense isn't good enough to be tired and also make plays in the fourth quarter. It's not going to happen. Anything else to say about the Browns game?
I was going to say the whole offensive line is hurt, and the one big shot Rodgers took was through Royce Newman's side, right through the guard spot.
He was bad, man.
Stepped on his foot too.
Yeah. He also missed straight ahead drive blocks at minimum 5 times. This might be the worst game he's played, and I think he was the top graded Pro Football Focus offensive lineman for the game. So congratulations, Royce Newman, I guess. But yeah, he was not good.
I would like to bring up Eric Stokes, another defensive back dropping an easy ass pick. Like, what are we doing? How do we get 4 interceptions and we still are dropping some stuff? Like, that's just, it's week 16, week 17. That's inexcusable.
Yeah, I was reading the numbers too. I don't know. I'm not sure. But the special teams played well, so that's good. Let's talk about the special teams for this week. Packers have more COVID, which could be a blessing in disguise, but not for this week. So they have 16 players on COVID right now, it looks like. I'll just list them off, and you tell me where most of these players come from. It'll be a fun little game. So we'll start with Tipa, Galilee, Ty Summers, Oren Burks, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Amari Rogers, Kevin King, Shamar John Charles, Mercedes Lewis, Ben Braden. Some of these are practice squad. RJ McIntosh, Ladarius Hamilton, Chauncey Billups / Rivers, Corey Bajorquez, Henry Black, Tyler Davis, Kingsley Kiki. What's the underlying team that all of these players essentially played for? And you would have said, maybe left bench. Special teams, obviously.
Special teams.
Like, this is going to be a nightmare. Yeah. Like half of them. So we're looking at the players who played all of the kickoff snaps this week. Tipa.
Maybe COVID made
Burks,
him play good.
maybe. Tipa, Burks, Tyler Davis, Henry Black are 4 of the 7 or 4 of the 11 kickoff people. Obviously, punt team, we're talking the punter, we're talking the personal protector, we're talking just all of these guys, man. Like, it's going to be a nightmare. We almost literally have to sign a new kickoff team to play this week, and including a punter, including a field goal holder. I can't imagine anything wrong will go wrong there. And I'm not mad that they got COVID and they're going to be out. I'm mad because I know what's going to happen, and the Packers are going to look at, no offense to Shamar John Charles, I love him. I think he's a good player. He's what, the cornerback 6 on the roster? Gutekunst is going to be like, we need to find someone to fill that cornerback spot. Yes, that cornerback 6 spot, instead of, oh, we need to find someone to fill that starting kickoff spot. Like, that's how they look at these players and all of that. And it's a nightmare. It's going to result in an absolute nightmare. Like, we need to find starters for kickoff, and it's a blessing in disguise for 2 reasons. One, maybe we sign a returner or someone who really impresses, that even Gutekunst will be like, hey, we need to keep them on the team and not fucking Tyler Davis or somebody like that. And you look at the teams that the Packers are going to have to go through the Super Bowl. Buccaneers slightly, but Dallas hasn't had like really any COVID issues, and I would assume that means they're coming. And if the Packers can get all of this out of the way and be unicorns out there, I feel like Dallas is going to get in trouble at one of these times. Omicron's going to catch up to them. They're going to get Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence or whatever, all of them out on 1 week in the playoffs, and they're going to lose. And that's great for us. So it's a blessing in disguise to hopefully get this out of the way. But I don't want to lose to the Vikings. So, yeah, a little upset about it, but hopefully we sign someone good. I've seen people pitching for Marquette King. Yeah, to come punt for us. That would be awesome. The dude's got a fucking bomb of a leg. The issue with that is I don't want to keep Bajorquez if we sign Marquette King, because Marquette King's a million times better than Bajorquez is. So if we can do the whole switcheroo and keep King and let him do kickoff and do all that, that would be magical. That would be fantastic.
Counterpoint, keep both of them and have Bajorquez on the punt return special teams. He knows the punter's mind. He's already slow. He already doesn't know how to tackle. So he's already just as good as everybody else, but he has the mind of a punter. Win-win.
It does fit in. That's a good point. I don't want to burst people's bubble. I don't think we will do Marquette King because he's a lefty. And that switches, the snapping a little bit. Certainly switches for holding, even though we're going to have a new holder for certain things anyway. But yeah, I would assume we don't do Marquette King unless Gutekunst has no idea how special teams even works, which is very possible. And he may just sign a laundry list of players and tell Coach Mo, good luck, have fun, do your best. No one will blame you, I'm sure. That could also be the way we go. But yeah. I don't know. The offensive line's banged up. I'm happy we don't have like Lucas Patrick in there yet. That would be a nightmare. I'm waiting for that to come though. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about before the Vikings? Okay. So obviously, Packers COVID issues. Vikings have an issue of their own. Adam Thielen, ankle surgery, I believe. He's out for the rest of the year, so he won't be playing in this game. Dalvin Cook is active off the COVID list. Who knows if they have more? Wouldn't surprise me if Kirk Cousins is out just because it's a primetime game. The NFL wants to make it make a point of it. That seems like something that would happen. But as of right now, the Packers are 6.5-point favorites with a high 47.5 projected point total. First time around, Vikings won 34-31, so obviously that was a high-scoring game. Vikings secondary is even worse since then. They released Rashad Breeland after he got in a fight in practice with teammates and coaches and whatnot. In that game, Packers actually stopped Dalvin Cook relatively well. And by that, I mean 105 total yards or 115 total yards and a touchdown. They, however, did not stop Justin Jefferson, who had 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I would assume, self-scout a little bit. I would assume that's going to be their main takeaway. We need to stop Justin Jefferson in this game. I just don't want us to gloss over the fact that Dalvin Cook is very good at football, and we got to stop him. He is a monster, and we can't let Nick Chubb 2.0 happen because we can't tackle worth a damn, and we can't let them just control the clock. So that's my main takeaway or my main key for the game. Like, we just need to stop Dalvin Cook at all costs, do whatever we've got to do, expedite the legal process on him beating up that army chick. I don't care what we need to do. Like, let's just do something. Luke, what's your main key for the Packers in this game?
The Vikings are playing for history too this game.
What's that?
Most games decided by 8 or less points.
Yeah.
It'll set the record if it happens tonight. But Zach, I think I agree with you, and I think on the offensive side of the ball, I'll just throw this for a key, is this feels like the reason we drafted A.J. Dillon, because it is supposed to be like 0 degrees by kickoff. It's wind's gonna be flying. I feel like this has to be A.J. Dillon, big bruiser guy, hit everyone in the cold and just put your head down and run forward. So I would imagine, I think A.J. Dillon needs to get very involved in this game.
For my key, and it's sad that I have to say this is a key and it shouldn't just be a given, like, fucking adapt on defense. Like, it's if you wait 2 drives, you're done. It's over, because by that time Dalvin Cook will have 2 rushing touchdowns. You adapt, Justin Jefferson gets 2 receiving touchdowns, and by that time you've already given up 28 points. They're too slow to adapt. The players can't. The secondary cannot catch the ball. We can't stop the run, so you're going to need to be creative. And if you're not, you're going to get burned. And I think, unfortunately, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree too with Trevor. Like, and then because the last time I said I wasn't worried about Justin Jefferson, and then he ended up being the one that won them the game. So I was so wrong with that game. So at this point, I'm just gonna agree with all y'all and wish for the best.
Justin Jefferson, notable Lombardi sweep fan.
Yes, that is right. I mean, yeah, I'm nervous about this game, but I'm not. Like, the Vikings defense has been so bad, man. They rank second worst in the league in rushing yards allowed per attempt at 4.7. Of course, Packers are tied for the worst at 4.8. Packers have also allowed 6.7 yards per carry over the past 3 games, 8.8 last week. Not good stats, but yeah, I would assume both defenses come into the game quite honestly thinking we need to slow down the run. I know the Vikings have to stare down Aaron Rodgers, but they know if they don't stop the run, it really doesn't matter because Aaron Rodgers is deadly off of play action anyway. So yeah, that should be a key for both teams right now.
This feels like a game where ground and pound, just get out of there without injuries, especially against a division opponent who's fighting for their lives here. Try to get as many points as you can, but really you want no injuries in this game, especially if you're bringing Jair Alexander back, other players back. You don't think Viking players are diving at their knees all game?
And if it's going to be cold, it's going to hurt twice as more. Extra cold.
True. Packers also aren't running the ball well at all. Obviously, it's a product of the offensive line, especially considering no defense is even capable of loading the box because of Aaron Rodgers, but the Packers have averaged 4.1 yards per carry. very bad. Vikings aren't much better. 4.3, 4.8 over the past 3 games, though, it looks like. But yeah, Packers need to establish the run. It should be an A.J. Dillon game. They should look to do that early. What really fucking sucks is if we don't have Mercedes Lewis blocking because he's a monster. I would assume we have a massive workload for Josiah DeGuara this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was essentially drafted to be a fullback for whatever reason because some people thought that would work. So he kind of needs to prove it this game. And
if he doesn't get
we'll see what happens up front for who's active. I haven't really heard a ton about Yash Nijman, but I don't think Bakhtiari's going to play. Jair, man, I don't know why he would play in this game. It's a 0-win situation. Kevin King, Shamar, obviously both out, so bodies are short. But like he would come in to guard Justin Jefferson, and if he's not 100%, why get embarrassed by Justin Jefferson? Like that's a terrible situation to be in. So hopefully he doesn't play. I don't want him to. Stay away. But the next several days are going to be interesting. So people listening, obviously we're recording Wednesday night. Watch Packers news because I think we legitimately may have to sign 15 players the rest of the week, which is wild. There might be some names you even recognize just because they have been there, done that, can come in, adapt, play football immediately. So it'll be interesting to see who gets called up. I can only assume the Packers will just let Malik Taylor return the football because I don't know. Punter. What if we sign J.K. Scott back?
Oh my god!
Would that be great?
He doesn't. Hey, guess what? He's not had to punt all season, so his leg is fresh, and that's a number one product. but he can't tackle like anybody else. So you might as well send him flying down the field because he is no safety valve.
Is there anyone else in the world that you would have less confidence in than making a tackle in 0-degree weather?
Isaiah McDuffie.
I don't know. J.K. Scott somehow eludes the tackle. It looks like he's trying to avoid it more than the returner is.
Or I can see J.K. Scott like juicing before the game. He's like, "This is my chance," and he just lays a dude out. You're like, "Who is that beating the Gunners?" It's just J.K. Scott just running a 4.4 flat.
I need to look it up. He hasn't been picked up or anything by anybody, has he? I can't imagine. Does not look like it. What an article title. Green Bay's sneakiest offseason move is proving a huge something. Signing Bajorquez is the sneakiest offseason move the Packers did, apparently. Congratulations, zone coverage. No idea who you are, where you are, what you are. But congrats. Okay. Yeah, I would say Devondre Campbell or Rasul Douglas. Both sneaky, both good. But anyway, Packers favored 6.5. Projected total 47.5. I will go Packers win. Ooh, man. 20. I gotta let the Vikings keep their record alive. I think that's more important than anything at this point. Yeah. I go Packers 30, Vikings 27. They can do it. I believe in them.
I'm way on the other side of the fence than you. I'm thinking Packers 17, Vikings 13. I know that both offenses can move the ball, but I think that this has to be, Vikings have to rely on Kirk Cousins. I feel like they haven't had to do that all year. But with the win, they have to rely on their quarterback, and I think that can play into the Packers' hands. And I don't think the Packers should do much on offense other than run A.J. Dillon.
Trevor?
I'm gonna be the guy that goes Vikings, so that we don't have everybody picking the team, and then the other team guarantees a win. I think the Vikings win, and I think they win it somewhat handily via the scoreline. I think they win it 31-20. Just because I'm seeing the way they're ripping the ball out, and they're going to rip the ball out every time. I can see this being a game kind of like week 16, I want to say, 2 years ago when the Packers went 13-3, where the Packers are just fumbling left and right, barely came away with it late. I can see the Packers just fumbling that ball and the Vikings just slowly sucking away the clock, and that's how they get the win. And I don't think the Packers can do anything about that.
I'm gonna go with. Dang it. Okay. Packers 14, Vikings 7. And I think this is going to be a battle of the running game. It's just going to be A.J. Dillon versus Cook. Just back and forth, and we're going to see who's the better running back at this game. So, that's mine.
Too bad the Vikings don't have Amir Abdullah, am I right?
I guess. You're kind of right. They don't have him. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say.
Trevor Land, kind of right. That's what I live for.
Hey, Trevor, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Let's talk about that.
Die Hard, even though I've never seen it.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Just looking to stir the pot.
Yeah. Everybody says it's not a Christmas movie. Well, it takes place at Christmas, so suck one.
Oh, guys, I totally forgot. We have a birthday on Lombardi Sweep today. It's Puma's birthday today.
He looks so mad.
He's
like, we
so
talked about this.
It.
You're not supposed to bring this up in public.
You won't even look the camera in the face.
Coward.
He's a Capricorn.
I don't know what that means.
It means he likes candy corn.
Oh, okay.
I like candy corn.
'Tis the season. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's a bad rap. This was Lombardi Sweep. If you just listened to the beginning and didn't know, I guess. But we will be back next week for the final game of the regular season against the Lions. Probably the toughest test of the year. Lions have been preparing for it. We will be back later.
Peace.